All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Gonzo and the Judge Sports Talk. Monday, August 22nd, 2022. Man, it's hard to believe August is almost over. But we got quite a bit to talk about tonight on this Monday. A lot happened over the weekend. Uh, had quite a few stuff happen today as well. Joined by always the judge, the sports judge, Jonathan Mathis.
What's up?
How's it going tonight, brother?
What is going on, everyone? It is nice to be back on the show. It is Monday. I know it's rough for a lot of people on Mondays, but hopefully, if you guys had a rough day, we can make it better for you guys as we do what we do best on this show and we talk sports. I hope our viewers out there are doing fabulous on this Monday night. I hope you are doing well. Gonzo, man, it's always a pleasure. This is a lot of fun. I can't state it enough. I love jumping on here doing this show. It is so awesome, man. And what better way to do it? We're doing what we love. We're talking sports and sharing our sports thoughts and giving our analysis with these wonderful people. Just awesome, man. Just awesome.
Oh yeah, it's awesome. It's been a long weekend, but hey, been a long day, been a busy day. Hey, if any of you have watched ASAP or Gonzo Sports Room today, you know I've been basically on almost all day. But hey, when you're enjoying what you're doing, you might as well keep doing it. What's up, Glenn? Thanks for joining us. Hey, this is the third or fourth different time I've seen Glenn tonight. Oh, but no, we'll start in the NFL and then we'll move over and talk some baseball. John, we will talk about those Yankees and the Gallo about the Yankees since the Gallo trade and the Padres has not been very good. But the Carolina Panthers named Baker Mayfield their starting quarterback today. To me, it wasn't a big. I don't think it was a big surprise to a lot of people. I thought Baker would win the job, and I also thought he would. And I mean, before when he first got traded there, I thought he was going to be the starting quarterback. But then all the reports you've heard over the last couple of weeks was basically last week the Panthers had already made their decision because the reports were Baker was blowing Sam Darnold out the water. Uh, one of the things was his leadership skills. From what I heard, his leadership skills was and interacting with the other players was like way ahead of Darnold. Not to say that I mean, I think everybody knows that Baker is a better quarterback throwing the ball wise than Darnold. At least so far has proven to be that, even though Darnold was highly touted coming out of college. But Darnold just hasn't panned out. And I think this Panthers team is going to be decent. I know some people think I'm crazy, but I think they could get I think they could get one of them wild card spots and end up in the playoffs. They've improved their offensive line. They have a strong defense. And if Baker Mayfield can come in there and I mean, he don't even have to play great, just play good, solid football. Don't kill yourself with stupid turnovers. And I don't think the Panthers are going to be that bad of a team.
No, you know what? They might surprise a lot of people this year. We talked about this a little bit before, Chris. They have a very, very good defense. And I think people overlook that defense. But Baker Mayfield, he got traded to Carolina. He was undoubtedly the second quarterback on the team. And he didn't plan on staying the number two quarterback for a very long time. He came right in, went to work, got to work, proved himself, and when Baker Mayfield is focused and locked in, and when he's on his game, he can be a very, very good quarterback. Now, I know he hasn't always, you know, uh, been praised for his potential greatness on the field because he hasn't really showed us much, and a lot of that is because he's dealt with injuries. In prior seasons. Is it all his fault? No. But I get why this guy gets criticized is because he doesn't always make smart decisions with the football. Sometimes he turns over the football. He makes dangerous passes down the field. And he doesn't always play smart football, and I think as he matures and as he continues to grow in this league, I think he'll get better over time. I think this is a make or break year for him. I think the Carolina Panthers are giving him another chance to show everyone that he can be a top tier quarterback in this league, or not even just a top tier quarterback, but a quarterback that can get the job done. Someone that you can depend on to make those timely throws, that can, set his team up to succeed in big moments. And I think Baker Mayfield is going to be okay in Carolina. I think if he takes care of the football, if he, makes those accurate passes down the field, I think they'll be fine. And just remember this, too. He has a strong running game behind him. If Christian McCaffrey can stay healthy, there goes your 1-2 punch right there. So that alleviates some of the pressure. Baker Mayfield won't have that heavy burden on his shoulders, or he won't feel as if he has to, carry that team on his back, because that could be a tall order for someone like Baker Mayfield. So I think with Christian McCaffrey backing him up, I think he will have a better year. And I don't think they'll be asking Baker Mayfield to throw down the field or to pass the ball 20 or 30 times per game. Not when you have a strong running game behind you. So I think this is a great opportunity for him to seize the moment, for him to, rediscover himself, and hopefully have a resurging year, have a better year, probably have a career year. I know I'm going out on a limb by saying that, and I'm getting a little ahead of myself by saying that. And I know a lot of people disagree with me, because there are a lot of people who are not firm believers, who don't think this guy is, a great quarterback. They think he's overrated. They think he's a bust. They don't think he's just going to pan out at the NFL level. But I think this is his chance to show everybody. I think this could be a redemption year for him. This could be a redemption story for Baker Mayfield and the Carolina Panthers. And we'll soon find out more about this team and if they're for real or not.
Well, and I think what people forget, people want to look at Baker and call him a bust or say he underperformed in Cleveland. Okay, I get that to a point. But how many different head coaches did he have in Cleveland? Mm-hmm. How many different offensive coordinators did he have in Cleveland? He played last year basically hurt almost the whole season. How many games was Cleveland winning before he got there?
Right.
You got to remember, we were talking about a team that was going 0-16, 1-15, maybe we're lucky if they won 2 games.
Right.
He got them to the playoffs, won a playoff game. I mean, did he get them to the promised land? No, but he never had a structure that stayed there. It was everything. It always kept changing. A new coach, a new coordinator. He was finally starting to get that with Stefanski going to be there. And then they give up on him, bring in the guy. They wanted to replace Baker so bad, they brought in the guys that can't play for 11 games. That makes no sense. Why were they in such a hurry to get rid of him? I think at Carolina, and we talked about this earlier, because the other guys on the afternoon show thought me and Dustin was crazy, but Dustin says Carolina goes 9-8, gets the 7th seed, and they sign Mayfield to a 4-year, $100 million extension. If Baker plays decent this year, he's going to get that 4-year extension from Carolina. I think Matt Rule's a good young coach. I think Matt Rule will put him in a system where he's going to have a good chance of succeeding. I know McCaffrey can get hurt, but they have that. Was it Chuba Hubbard?
Yeah,
he's a hell of a running back too. They have him as well. They improved their offensive line. I'm not saying that they're going to make a deep playoff run this year, but I do think they have a decent chance of making the playoffs.
They do. And make no mistake, Baker Mayfield was brought in to be the number one quarterback.
Yeah.
You know, there's no doubt about that. You know, there's no denying that. You don't trade for Baker Mayfield and not keep him on the bench. You know, you obviously lost trust in Sam Darnold. You're ready to, you know, give up, you know, on him and pretty much basically say, hey, you know what? Your time is up. It's time for you to sit down on the bench now, hold the clipboard, keep the earpiece in your ear, and, you know, kind of observe the scene.
Well, and Carolina's in a situation where say something happens and Baker goes out there and he falls flat on his face and doesn't do anything.
Right.
What's Carolina lose? They really don't lose much. They're paying Baker like $5 million this year. The Browns are paying the rest of his salary, and Baker took a little bit of a pay cut to go there as well on this year. So all the Browns are paying him like $4.8 million this year for a starting quarterback. You know what I mean? So if he plays good, he'll earn that extension. So if he don't, they'll move on from him, and they haven't really lost a whole lot.
Yeah, and you know what? I think it's worth the try, especially like you said, giving up the relatively small price to, you know, make him your quarterback. You know, he's a 1-year rental. It's a very important position. As we know, this is a pass-driven league now. So every team relies heavily on the quarterback, and he can definitely be the vital piece to the Carolina Panthers. You know,
how's it going, Frankie? Thanks for joining us.
What's up, Frankie? What's going on, man? Thanks for joining us. I mean, I've been here talking. I don't want to feel like I'm ignoring our fans and everything. And
John said Panthers win 9 easily. Baker is way better than Darnold. And look at some of the close games Darnold lost for them. Yeah, you have to. I think they started like off 5-2 last season. They got off to a good start, and then with some injuries and stuff, they just fell apart.
I think this is the move.
Baker will get the job done. So
I agree. I think this is the move that pushes the Carolina Panthers to a playoff berth, as you alluded to earlier. I think this is the one foundational piece that they needed to make that extra push. You know, because look, the new offensive line is good as advertised, right? And the defense plays well as it should. So when you look at this team and how it's built, it's built to make a run for the playoffs.
Yeah. And let me ask you this question. What do you think's next for Sam Darnold? Do you think he gets another chance anywhere? Do you think he's just probably going to be a backup at best the rest of his career?
I think he's going to be like most USC quarterbacks, with the exception of Carson Palmer. I think he's going to be a backup quarterback in the NFL. I think he's had numerous opportunities. It didn't work out with the New York Jets. You know, you saw a glimmer of hope in Carolina to start the season early, but then everything unraveled. He suddenly regressed. You know, he went back to being the Sam Darnold of old. You know, and I've seen this guy at USC, and you know, yes, he had the potential, you know, to translate to the next level. You know, there was so much great things people said about him. You know, I had high hopes for the guy, but clearly, he is reckless. You know, he can turn over the football. He makes those throws into tight windows that can result in turnovers. We've seen it constantly with him. You know, it has been an ongoing struggle for him, and he can't seem to, you know, put it all together. You know, he's careless with the football, and he's too reckless for me. I think he is a backup quarterback.
I think he lost some of his confidence with the Jets.
Absolutely.
I think he lost some of his confidence with his Jets and with the Jets, and I don't think he's the same guy no more. And I'm not saying that to put him down or to fault him, but It happens sometimes. You if you know that offensive line is not going to protect you, you get those happy feet, and you're just run basically. You think you have to run around for your life, even when you don't have to. You know what I mean? Because you get so used to the offensive line not protecting you, so then you just start. You're more worried about getting rid of the ball so you don't get killed than you are. Oh, this my first read ain't there. I need to go over here with the ball. You know what I
Right.
mean? Hell, this is a dude that ESPN done wrong and let the whole world know that he was seeing ghosts. Remember that game when they had
Yep.
him mic'd up? He said, "I'm
Yep.
seeing ghosts out there." It's like, I can't believe ESPN done the dude dirty like that. But I just think he's lost too much of his confidence. I don't know. Sometimes when a player loses some of that confidence and some of that swag that they have, it could be it's hard to get it back.
Right. Right. And once you lose that confidence, like you said, it's hard to regain it. Especially if you're getting benched all the time, or if
What's up,
you're going to be
Ron?
the backup quarterback to a starting quarterback. That can shrink your confidence. That can take a lot out of you, and sometimes it affects you mentally and emotionally and physically. And I think that's what we're seeing with Sam Darnold. But no, I don't see it happening for him. Unfortunately, I think I mean, you never know. You never know what's in store for a player. I mean, he can end up someplace else, and maybe someone else will give him that chance. But I think there's a small chance that he'll get another opportunity. I mean, because once you have a few opportunities, it's hard to keep getting those opportunities in the NFL, especially at the quarterback position. You lose that trust, and sometimes, teams don't want to take that chance and throw you out there as the starting quarterback, because they seen your resume, they seen your prior history, and they're like, oh, no, 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 this guy is not built to be our starting quarterback. We're gonna go with the other guy or the next guy up. And I just think that Sam Darnold is going to have a hard time landing the starting job somewhere else.
Man, are the New York sports franchises cursed? Because last week Jets lose one of their best offensive linemen in Becton, and then now the Giants have lost their rookie linebacker Thibodeau for at least 3 to 4 weeks with I think it's an ACL sprain, but it was man. It was a it looked terrible when it happened. It happened off a chop block. Got He went to go their way. He got kind of blindsided, hit his leg, and his leg stayed there, and his body went the other direction.
It's one of those freak accident
Oh,
type.
dude,
It's not.
it looked nasty.
Yeah,
And yeah, and like John said, the Jets also lost their quarterback for a few weeks as well. So and you know what I mean. Everybody was talking about how the Giants and the Jets finally drafted well. Everybody thought they, what I mean, had a good draft and trying to move in the right direction. And then hell, they can't get it. It seems like for some reason they just can't get out of their own way. There's always injuries or something that
yeah,
derails it. It's almost like
yeah,
them two football teams are cursed.
yeah. It feels that way, right? I'm honestly the type of person who don't believe in curses. I mean, I know a lot of sports fans bring up, you know, the idea of a team being cursed. You hear that a lot in professional sports. You hear that a lot in all sports. And I think, people just want a good story, right? They just want something to talk about when they say a team is cursed. I think, sometimes bad things just happen. That's just that's just how it is. And in sports, I mean, injuries are part of the game. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah, it is.
you,
I
you,
was saying cursed as a loose word because, yeah, because I kind of agree with you. I don't think it's really a curse. It just always seems like for some reason they have big injuries that affect their team.
right, right, and you see that with the Yankees. I mean, you see that you've seen
The Mets,
down years with
the
the
Grom,
Mets,
the
right,
Grom's getting ready to be out again for the
right.
Mets.
See, and you've seen the Knicks uh, deal with injuries as well. So I mean, it's not necessarily a curse. It's just, bad luck. I'm guessing for New York sports teams. It just seems like they get these good players or they get promising and future assets, and when it's time for the season to get underway, bad things just happen. It's crazy how that is, but that has been uh, happening for a very long time in New York sports now. And it's hard to believe, and it's unfortunate for a guy like Thibodeau.
Well, the good thing
If I'm
is,
saying his name correctly, I know I sound like I say his name wrong, but look, this could have been a lot worse, Chris. The Giants have avoided the worst possible outcome with this injury. Now we know that it's an ACL. Uh,
but I do agree with Frankie on here. Oh, says Giants are expected for him to be ready for game one. I say rest him at least till week 2 or maybe 3. You don't want to rush him back because a sprain, I think that's what they're calling it, is a sprain, which is basically a slight tear. Well, you know what I mean? You get him out there too early, then he could completely tear it. Then he's done for probably the rest of the year. So you want to make sure that you want to get him healed up.
and
You want to get him healed up before you put him out there, so he has a better chance of making it the whole season. You don't want this to be something that nags him all year.
right. And I heard he declined to speak on the injury. He didn't really give much details about the injury.
He just said he was all right and that he'd be
Right. He
fine.
says that he's all right. He kind of downplayed it. Said that he's feeling okay. That he is listed day to day.
Hey, hopefully like I said, it could have been a lot worse. It could have
Soon.
been done for the whole season.
Speedy recovery, because look, the Knicks drafted him to be a defensive force.
And I think he will be too.
I think he will too. Once he gets healthy and he returns, I think he'll make an immediate impact on that Giants team. It was definitely a hole they needed to fill, and they filled it with that draft pick.
What do you think about? Let's stick with the Giants for a minute before we move on. What do you think about Daniel Jones? You think he'll make it through the whole season as a starting quarterback for the Giants? You think Dayball will be able to get a better version, bring out a better version of Daniel Jones?
And that's just it.
We've seen what Dayball done with Josh Allen.
Right. And that's where I was going to get to. Yeah, you're right. This guy's good at developing quarterbacks. He helped with the development of Josh Allen. Helped with that process over there. Now he is the head coach of the New York Giants. And maybe with a cultural change, maybe with a new voice and someone who, is a quarterback guru who has done a great job working with quarterbacks and putting them in the best position to succeed, maybe we will get a better version of Daniel Jones. I think this is Daniel Jones's time to finally step up and show that he can shine in New York. Because if he doesn't have a good season, and if he continues to have, mediocre seasons or seasons where he's not living up to the expectations, then we all know the New York Giants fans are going to run him out of town, because that's how New York fans are. They don't take exception to athletes who underperform. They don't. They live by they set certain standards, I should say, for athletes. And so Daniel Jones is going to have to show that he can be, that quarterback who can make effective throws, who can, orchestrate drives and lead the offense. And if he can do that, then he'll, work out well in New York. If not, then the New York Giants will be, in conversation for possibly a quarterback change.
Well, yeah. Well, this is his last season under contract, so I mean, if he don't perform well this year, he's going to be out of New York. I mean, that is definitely going to be because
Yep.
he's because like John just said, they declined his 5th-year option of his rookie contract, so he's beginning his final year of his contract. So he's going to have a lot better. He's going to have to play. Frankie said Tyrod Taylor is going to take that starting job by week 6. My dad said if he's healthy, he'll do well. And Frankie also said Taylor is showing out hard this preseason for the Giants.
Well, you know what it is with Tyrod Taylor too. I think his teammates gravitate to him. You know,
well, I think Daniel Jones is going to have a good year, and he'll get a contract from the Giants after this season. I really do. If you looked at him, he's shown some potential. His main things has been turnovers, fumbles big time. But think about it, he hasn't had a great offensive line either. I think they finally got a better offensive line in front of him. If you can finally get a healthy Saquon Barkley to stay healthy for a season and take some of that pressure off of him, I think Jones has the ability that he could. I'm not saying he's going to be a top quarterback in the league, but I think he could be a legitimate starter in the NFL. I think he has that kind of ability. He just has to put it all together, and I think Dayball will get him to settle down a little bit and be in there and play a little smarter.
Yeah.
Like my dad said, a lot of times he tries to do too much, and that's when he gets himself in trouble.
Yep, exactly. And when you try to do too much, that's when bad things usually happen.
Damn. That's just said Daniel Jones is a waste of human space.
Ouch. Ouch.
Tell us how you really feel about him.
Oh, man. Dustin, that's kind of harsh, brother. Man, you going hard on Daniel Jones.
John Sugg says,
what did Daniel Jones do to you?
He said, wouldn't be surprised if them in Seattle do a QB swap next year for Lockett.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Seattle is in a rebuild. I mean, I think it's gonna be. I think that you can state the obvious and say that it's gonna be another down year.
Oh, you don't think Geno Smith's gonna lead Seattle to the playoffs?
Heck no!
Come on now.
Heck no! Geno Smith is worse than Sam Darnold.
But Geno Smith might be their starting quarterback. It's either him or Drew Lock, and it sounds like Geno Smith has been out playing Lock here.
I'd rather have Drew Lock over Geno Smith.
I would too, but they're on the same team, and it sounds like Geno Smith is going to start ahead of him. Geno Smith equals interception king.
Yeah, it's going to be a bad year for Seattle. I'm predicting it right now. I'm calling it right now.
Geno couldn't lead the dog.
That team will be lucky to win 4 games. I think it's going to be that kind of year for Seattle. I think it's going to really be atrocious. You know,
hey, Judge, do you watch UFC by chance?
Not very much. You are the right guy to talk about UFC.
Did you happen to see?
Educate me on UFC.
Have you seen any of the highlights? Did you see any of the highlights from Saturday night? Did you see the guy get kicked in the head and get knocked out?
I did on SportsCenter.
Oh man, that was a nasty head kick. Big upset too, because Usman was winning that fight 3-1. He was up 3 rounds to 1, and Usman got knocked the F out, dude. It was crazy when they showed slow motion. Oh, it was wicked when you could see it slow motion. The dude's shin hit his nose and the back of his head, dude. His head leg wrapped around his head, and dude just.
Oh, that's.
Yeah, Usman got knocked out. Glenn said Joe Rogan's reaction. Yeah, Joe Rogan's reaction was awesome. Jones is benched by week 8. Mitch Trubisky comes in next year. Well, yeah, Dad, you're right. Dad, you're right. Would have been really 4-1 because there was only 50 seconds left in the fight, and he was winning. He would have won that round, so he was going to win 4-1. But the reason I brought that up is because Dana White, UFC president. You know who Dana White is?
Yes.
They had this show called Watching Fights with the Gronks or whatever on it was like a watch along thing. I guess they had on ESPN, and he was on there with them. I can't remember if it's before the fight or after, but he said that there was a deal set up and it was almost done. He said it was basically done. It just was getting ready to pull the trigger on it, that Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski was going to the Raiders. Was it 2019? Was it 2019 when he went to the Bucks? I think so.
I believe so. It was right before the pandemic. Yeah.
When he went to the Bucks that year, Dana White said they had it all set up and John Gruden nixed it. So if you're a Raiders fan, I would say you're probably even more pissed at John Gruden now. Not only did he get fired in the middle of the season last year because of email shit, but now you're finding out he might be the reason that Tom Brady and Gronkowski went with the Raiders.
That's crazy. You know what?
He said that he said he helped broker the deal. He said it was so close to being done that Tom Brady was already looking at houses.
Wow. Why would you turn down a deal that would give you Tom Brady? That doesn't even make any sense to me. And Raiders fans, they would have clearly...
No, not just Tom Brady. You was going to get Gronk as well.
Right. But you know what? The Raiders would have forgiven this man. He would have went from a pariah to a savior for the Raiders. You know, and Raiders fans would have loved to welcome Tom Brady in with open arms. I mean, who wouldn't? The dude's a future Hall of Fame quarterback. He's the most decorated quarterback in NFL history. You can make the argument that he's the GOAT of quarterbacks. And he's still playing at such a high level at his age. It's just incredible. You could have both of these guys and you don't let that happen and you're John Gruden. And it's really astonishing because look, John Gruden likes veteran quarterbacks. He likes quarterbacks who are well established. So why would you shoot that deal down? That don't even make any sense. And not only were you getting Tom Brady, you was getting his go-to tight end.
And could you imagine you would have Gronk and Gronkowski and Waller
on the same team?
Yeah.
That's deadly right there.
It would have been back like when New England had Gronk and Hernandez at the same time. Them two could be that kind of. I know that's not a name people like to hear, but hey, he was a great tight end. I know he wasn't a good human, but I'm just using that as an example because Waller and Gronkowski they had that kind of ability to be a 1-2 punch like they had back there in New England.
Right, and the Raiders would have clearly asserted themselves as top contenders. No question about it. You get Tom Brady
you were just moving to Las Vegas.
Right. And you seen what Tom Brady did after he left the Patriots just in one season with the Bucks. He led that team to a Super Bowl.
I would like to know the reasoning why John Gruden nixed it. I would just I know it don't change nothing. I'm just curious because
John Gruden makes decisions that are questionable. Some of the things that he's done, I just didn't understand. I just didn't understand. The Raiders brought him back because they thought that that he could, get this team back to where it once was. And, it's crazy. It's crazy that he's gone and the team is all of a sudden one of the favorites in the AFC West.
Well, he was building the team in the right direction. And then
he was building the team in the right direction.
And then he got the email, the stuff. Other stuff off the field stuff got him.
The scandal surfaced, and we learned more about the emails. And
because you got to admit, each year they were improving. I mean, it wasn't like he was doing a terrible job coaching wise and helping no dude put the team together. But some of his other shady shit he was doing caught up to him, and it's just weird to me about out of all them emails, his name is the only one that got mentioned. That's still kind of fishy to me. that he was the only one out of all them emails. He's the only one that anything came out of it. You know what I mean?
He sued the NFL, and watch. I'm going to tell you this. Guess what's next? He's going to write a book, and he's gonna
tell all book.
He's gonna do what Jose Canseco
did tell all,
and he's gonna tell it all. He's gonna reveal it all in that book. And you know what? I'm gonna order that book on Amazon, and I'm gonna read every single page.
He said I'll have it the next day. Boom!
I will have that book the next day because I want to know every little detail that happened, and I want to know whose names were involved. I want to know the people that were responsible. I would like to know whose names on that list, and I'll tell you if it's Stan Kroenke or any Rams executive, I'm done with the team. I will pick a new team to root for. You know, and I think a lot of people feel that way. There's so many names that could be on the list.
Your Dodgers are getting beat 1-0 in the bottom of the fifth.
I'm not surprised. The Milwaukee Brewers, they played the Dodgers pretty well at Dodger Stadium for some strange reason.
Shawnee Max says, "What's up, Judge?"
What's up, Shawnee? What's up? What's up? Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for joining us tonight.
What else do we have? Well, let's talk a little bit of baseball. You want to talk some baseball?
Sure thing. Let's get into it. You know, I like to talk some baseball. Home run, home run.
The Yankees win the night against the Mets. Now they've won 2 games in a row. That's the first time they've done that in a while. They've been terrible in the month of August. I've only been hitting like 196 as a team over the last 10 games. Look like they're finally starting to play a little better these last couple games. And it came out that Juan Carlos Stanton is planning to come back on Thursday. That's going to be a big for them to get him back, especially if he's healthy, because, I mean, you know what I mean? He has a bat, man. And they've been missing his bat bad here the last couple weeks. So I think that'll give him a boost. But do you think the Yankees are with Stanton coming back? Do you think it might give him a boost and maybe push them to keep their lead in that division and not fall back too far?
Well, as you see, even without Stanton right now, they seem to be getting back on track. They won 2 consecutive games, which is an encouraging sign. But then when you add Giancarlo Stanton to the lineup, your team is even better. You know, your team is much better with him in the lineup, you know, because he's a slugger. He's an effective hitter. You know, sometimes he's that one hitter that can carry your offense. If everyone else is slumping, you know, you can depend and trust in Stanton to get that big hit and drive in the runs, you know. But then Aaron Judge again, he looked masterful tonight. He took Max Scherzer deep, you know, early too in the game. I think it was in the second inning. I was watching the game, and he took them deep, and that's what put the Yankees on the board. That gave them a 2-0 lead. I think if the Yankees can, you know, continue to win games, you know, consistently, then yeah, they should hold on and win the division. You know, I think it's going to be hard for their rival teams in their division to catch up to them. You know, I know they were on this crazy, mysterious losing streak or whatever it was. You know, they had that brutal stretch where they couldn't really win games and pile up victories. But now winning 2 straight.
They were 3-7 over the last 10 games going into today's game.
And I believe they were even 3-14 since the All-Star break. So
and they were hitting they were hitting 196 as a team.
That's awful.
And had been outscored.
That's as a team. Had been outscored by 20 runs over the last 10 games. Yeah, it hasn't been good for the Yankees. It hasn't been pleasant. They've been by far the worst team in baseball. And, this was a team that got off to a hot start at the beginning of the 2022 season. They surprised a lot of people with their strong play early, and they were able to, you know, win games and take off with the AL East. At one point, we was talking about them being uh, World Series favorites. Remember, they were in conversation to be favorites to win the World Series. They even had the best record in all of baseball. No one could really beat them, and they were winning all their games, and they, looked like they was going to run away with the best record in baseball. And then they just suddenly took a turn for the worse. And then I feel like after, Aaron Boone showed some emotion. He wore those emotions on his sleeve the other day after the game, after the loss on, I believe it was Saturday, where he wasn't too happy during the press conference. He said that he wouldn't ask any more questions, pounded the table. I'm telling you, those rants, man, those type of rants are the things that really turn things around in a hurry for a team. And sometimes those rants, those tirades that we hear during press conferences from the managers or from a particular player, those are the rants that sometimes bring the team together and it turns things around. And as you notice, teams start playing together. They start winning games.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's the game changer, and sometimes you need your manager to speak up and tell everyone how he really feels about the play on the field.
Put the team on notice a little bit.
Right. And I think that's what he did. And, I guess they had a meeting in the clubhouse, and whatever was said, it must have worked because now they've won 2 straight.
And then, like John Suggs says, is people finally taking the Cards for real now? They better. The Cardinals are always a scrappy team. They're playing great baseball right now. They were on a 7-game winning streak going into tonight's game against the Cubs. I haven't seen the highlights of it yet. I didn't get to watch any of it, so I'm not sure if they won tonight or not and got stretched out to 8. But I do agree with Suggs on this. The Braves are playing hot as well. It wouldn't surprise me if they trade Ozuna after his numbers have been in a slump and then him getting that DUI last week. It wouldn't surprise me if they trade Ozuna. And it don't even have nothing to do with the DUI to me. It's more of he got hurt last year, and for some reason or another, when he got hurt, that team still took off and excelled. You know what I mean? It made the World Series and won the World Series. Where when he got injured, what was everybody saying? We all thought the Braves were done for the season. They just lost arguably their best player. Everybody was saying how the Braves were going to be in trouble, and they went 100 degrees the other way. And then this year, his numbers have been way down. So yeah, I could see them trading him anyway, even before that DUI. And I do think that DUI even makes it. I agree with John. It makes it more likely that he probably is. They probably trade him at the end of this season and just cut their losses with them. Because dude, they got a team. They're going to be a tough team here down the stretch and coming out of the National League. I still like the Mets, but I thought that DeGrom wasn't going to be pitching tomorrow, so he might be having a little bit of issue. But if the Mets are healthy, I like the Mets. But the Braves are tough. I think the Cardinals are a scrappy team, and you don't want to play in the playoffs. And, of course, you have the Dodgers, who have a real good team. But the Dodgers, they were real hot, and then sometimes it seems like they play down to their competition.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes it does seem that way. Or they take an under 500 team, a substandard ball club, they take them too lightly, and then they end up losing the series to them. And you're sitting there like, how do you lose the series to a team that's not even contending? A team that doesn't really have much star power or good players on the team. that's what's weird with the Dodgers, you know. And then when they face really good teams, they turn it on. They take their game to a different level. It's like, why couldn't you do that against the Pirates or, you know, against a team that's not very good?
Yeah.
You know, a team where you can't even really name the player on the roster. I mean, like they lost to the Colorado Rockies, you know, earlier in the year. Like you're losing to teams that you're supposed to beat, you know. But I think what it is, they get a little too relaxed, or they you know, another thing is too, they get overconfident. And you know, they come into the series thinking, oh, we got this. We don't really have to play hard for this one. We don't really have to give it our all for this one because this team is not really that great. And you know, a team that's not really good, they have nothing to lose. So they're coming in with the mindset that, okay, we can beat the best team in baseball.
Well,
So,
and on these teams that aren't good teams, they're playing a lot of their young players, and these guys are trying to earn a regular spot
right.
in the show.
Yeah, they're trying
so
to
they're playing hard because they're trying to earn them a spot, whether if it's not on that team, maybe one of the other teams.
Right.
You know what I mean? So sometimes when you bring them young players in, it can bring a little bit of a spark to a team that has had a rough year. You bring them in toward it. Sometimes it can bring a little bit of a spark just because, hey, them are guys that haven't been paid yet, so they're playing 120%. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
They're hoping to get a permanent spot somewhere.
But the team to watch out for are the Cardinals. I mean, the Cardinals is the team to watch out for. You know, the Cardinals, man, you've been seeing excellence from this team. This team has been putting that on display in every game, it seems. Albert Pujols, man, 692 home runs, I believe.
Cardinals won again tonight, so they've won 8 in a row.
Doesn't Albert Pujols sit at 692 home runs right now?
I would have to look it up.
I think he's gonna get to 700 before the season's out.
Oh, he hit a grand slam the other day.
Yep, I think he's gonna get. I think we're gonna be celebrating numbers home runs.
Good. I'm not a Cardinal fan at all.
I think we're gonna be celebrating home run numbers.
But they are playing good this year. That's my son's favorite team.
They're playing really good. They're 9-1 in their last 10 games. And
that's my team, and we've been terrible.
But you know what the Cardinals do so well, and they do it their way, is play defense.
Yeah.
They're stealing outs because of their you know, play on the field. You know, they're just good. You know, we've seen so many game-saving plays in right field from that rookie Lars. How you pronounce his name? Lars Nootbaar, I think. You know, he's just been incredible to watch. Making basket grabs, and then
What's up, Rob Scott?
What's up, Rob? And then you see what Nolan Arenado is doing. I mean, that's customary what he's doing. I mean, he does that on a daily basis, so it's nothing new. The guy makes incredible plays. I think he's arguably the best third baseman we've ever seen. You know what? I think you can even make the argument that he's the greatest third baseman to ever play.
Glenn Richardson said, I was at the NLDS 2012 Game 3 when Scott Rowland dropped the ball that allowed the go-ahead run by the Giants. John Suggs says, Goldschmidt MVP question.
Absolutely. He's my MVP. I think he's running away with it in the NL.
You're supposed to be working
in the National League. I think he's running away with the MVP award.
Get back to work.
He's putting up monster numbers this season. You know, he's putting up MVP type numbers. He should get the award.
She's going to yell at me. I was yelling at. That's my girlfriend.
Oh, hey Amanda, thanks.
I was yelling at her, telling her to get back to work.
Thanks for watching.
She has a long night of work. Hey, she's gonna get off till another 12-hour day. She worked 12 yesterday, working another 12 today. So. Yeah, no, I think, oh, man, I do like the Cardinals. What do you think about the Mariners in the AL? They're going to surprise some people?
Julio Rodriguez, man, I can't say enough about that kid. Suarez, am I pronouncing his name right? I know you know him. He used to play for the Cincinnati Reds.
What'd you say?
Suarez, how
Yeah,
you pronounce? Is that correct?
Suarez.
Yeah, there you go. This guy has the most home runs since
Oh,
I
yeah.
believe
He's
I
just
was
one of
looking
them
at the
guys.
statistic.
He's either going to hit a home run or he's going to strike out.
Yeah, I was looking at a statistic that he has the most home runs
Yep.
since a year or a certain year or something.
Yep. He has more than Aaron Judge does I think it was
Over the
last
last
three seasons, I
three
think.
seasons or something like that. Unbelievable, you know.
Well,
And
he hit
so,
like 59 or 56 or 59 home runs a couple years ago for the Reds.
right,
And then
and
he had
so
a couple years where he only hit like 20 or 30 or 20, like in the 20s. And then
yeah,
now he's with Seattle and he's pounding the ball again. But yeah, when
pounded
he gets on a roll, dude, he pounds it. But then he'll go through them slumps or he'll strike out like crazy.
yeah. So he's either a swing or miss guy or a home run hitter. You know, he's one of those guys that, you know, I'm not gonna put the ball in play too much, but I'll knock it over the fence, or I'm going back to the dugout after striking out.
I'm not sure what my dad's
That's
talking.
who he is, you know. But
Yeah.
I think the Mariners can make a case. I think the Mariners. I don't think you know they know they're not going to win the AL West. Like they could get that out of their mind right now because the Astros are clearly favorites to win that.
Yeah,
They
but
will.
I think
Win.
I
But
know Jay McLovin don't want to hear this, but I think the Mariners could give the Astros some trouble in a 7-game series.
yes, yes. You know they're a streaky team. They go on these runs like we seen right before the All-Star break. They went on this crazy run, right? Where they were winning all these games.
Yep.
What did they win? 14 straight games? They won 14 straight before the All-Star break. So this team can put together some wins and they can make some noise in October.
I'm not going to lie.
I think they will.
Yeah, but I'm not going to lie. I knew my dad's birthday was today, but I didn't even realize it was midnight. And he put that comment up there that I'm 59 bitches. And I was like, what is he talking about? I was sitting there trying to figure out what he was talking about because I didn't realize what time it was. But no, happy birthday, Dad. I hope you have a great day.
Happy birthday, Tony.
I did because
you.
all I saw was the 59, and I was like, "What's he talking?" I was trying to think in my head. I didn't even look at the clock that just turned midnight. And then
Best wishes to your dad. I got a birthday coming up too, September 6th. Mark that down on your calendar. That's a Tuesday. We don't have a show that night.
he said we don't have a show that night. Well, hey, if you didn't live so far away, we'd get together and drink a couple beers. But
I would love that. That would be awesome.
I think Seattle in 2 or 3 years will be the team to watch. But I'm not saying they'll get.
We could still.
I agree, John. I agree, John. I agree with you on that. That in 2 or 3 years they're really going to be good. And I'm not saying they're going to get past the Astros, but I think they could give the Astros a tough series just because of their pitching.
Well, that's what the Mariners are doing, right? They're planting the seeds for their foundation.
Well,
right?
I mean, with adding Castillo to that starting rotation they already had, man, in a 7-game series, if their bats get hot, they can give some teams some trouble.
And it's not as if they had a bad rotation before he got there. They were pretty good. They were overlooked by a lot of people.
John said his is the 5th.
Oh, nice, John. Virgo power, baby. Virgos.
Mine's not
we're the best sign.
Mine's not till November.
We're the best zodiac sign. Virgos. We're down to earth.
She said I do what I want.
We're kind. We're giving. You know, we analyze everything. We love to analyze shit. we analyze everything. You know, it's what we do.
Yeah, my birthday's right around Thanksgiving, November 27th.
And we could be, is it? And we could be very judgmental too. That's one of our negative traits.
Pujols is at 693 career home runs.
And hypercritical. Now, what did you say about Pujols?
He's at 693 home runs.
He's almost there. He's gonna get it. We still got a full month. We still got a full month of September.
I think it said he was three homers from passing Alex Rodriguez.
Oh yeah.
Castillo's been pitching good for Seattle. He's been basically pitching like he was for the Reds. He's been pitching good for Seattle since he went over there.
I know the Yankees feel bad that they missed out on him because Frankie Montas has not been that constellation prize. He has been an epic fail since he's gotten there. And I mean, I hate to say that about Frankie because Frankie was one of the hot commodities on the market coming from Oakland.
Yeah.
And he was good with the A's when he pitched with the A's. The A's just didn't really have a good team.
No, and the A's aren't.
Yankees. I really think putting on that pinstripe jersey, it affects you mentally. I really believe that. Because look, Joey Gallo couldn't unlock his potential.
I'm glad you just brought up Gallo because John had asked a question about Gallo earlier, and I told him we'd talk about it. So let me go up here so we can get that.
Yeah, he couldn't discover himself with the Yankees, and ever since he left the Yankees, look what he's doing with the Dodgers.
Yeah, that's what he was talking about, laughing out loud. How about those Yankees since the Gallo trade, and even the Padres on Josh Hader era is terrible. Since the trade, I think it's a 16. Yeah. The Padres have surprised me. I thought they were going to be a lot better than they are. But yeah, well, and Gallo, you're right. Gallo has been playing better ball.
Yeah, I think he's been unlocked since he's gotten to the Dodgers. I think he's been working with the hitting coach, and they've been going over some things, looking at film, what he can do better to adjust his swing, and his batting stance and all that other stuff. I think he's and he's been able to produce more because of those adjustments that he's made.
My dad's a trip. Did you see what he said?
No, put back up the comment again. It's because his name is Frankie. Don't tell Frankie the Yankee that.
Oh man. Oh. Well, who you got coming out of the AL? I know in the National League you're going with the Dodgers because that's your team, so you have to. Who do you think the Dodgers are going to be playing in the World Series? Because I know you think the Dodgers are going to get there.
It could be the rematch of the Astros, but you know what, Chris? Every time we predict who's going to be in the World Series, it never goes that way. So I got to go with the Dodgers in the NL because I got to have one Goliath in there, and you got to have Goliath versus David. So you got to have a surprise team in there. Maybe it might be the Blue Jays.
I'm going to stick with my original pick earlier in the year.
I don't think it's going to be the team that everyone's saying it is going to be.
Oh yeah, I can see it being a surprise, but I think it's going to be. I said this. This is what I said earlier in the season, so I'm going to stick with it. I think we're going to get a Subway Series.
The year of 2000.
I think we're going to get that. I think we're going to get that this year. My dad says Dodgers versus Astros. Dodgers in 6.
I mean, it could go that way too, where you could see the Mets playing the Yankees in the World Series.
That's what I said that at the beginning of the year, so I'm going to stay with it. But I really do. I really think the Cardinals are going to give anybody in the National League some trouble. The Braves,
they'll definitely give the Dodgers trouble because
the Braves. There's at least like 4 teams in the National League that legitimately can make the World Series.
Yep. There's a lot of teams in the AL that can make it too. The Blue Jays, the Astros, the Yankees, the Mariners. They could surprise. They could be like the Tampa Bay Rays in 2020. It'd be the surprise team that get there, and they all for all we know they'll end up playing the Dodgers in the World Series. I mean, that it could go that way too.
Braves just ran Houston out the stadium.
Or it could be the Braves and the Dodgers. I mean, not the Braves and the Dodgers, but the Braves and the Astros again for a rematch. Or it could be the Braves versus the Mets in the NLCS. We don't know. Or it could be the Dodgers versus the Braves or the Dodgers versus the Mets. However it may go. We really don't know.
And I bet you the Yankees are kind of bitter about that, because if you look at, like you said, they brought in Matas. He hasn't been pitching really good, but Montgomery's been pitching real well for the Cardinals.
Right.
And you know what I mean? They traded Montgomery. It's like,
and they traded him, which had a lot of people confused.
Yeah. And he's been pitching good. He's been pitching good, and the guy you replaced him with has been struggling.
Is struggling since he's gotten there, right? So, I mean, it's a tough loss. I mean, you kind of gambled there, You took your chances on Frankie Matas, and you traded away Jordan Montgomery, and Jordan Montgomery has answered the call in St. Louis and has fit in quite well in that starting rotation.
All right. Well, got any final thoughts before we get out of here for tonight?
It was a blast once again. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I can't thank you guys enough. This show is amazing, man. I just love doing this show. I love being on with Chris. Chris, you do a great job as well. I can't emphasize that enough. This was a lot of fun once again. I love doing these shows. Let's keep it up. Let's keep up the good work. And I want to thank the ASAP family as well for allowing us to use their platform to live stream this show. Also, you guys, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Chris, put the link somewhere in there or something for put the link in the comment section so people know where they can find my YouTube channel.
Well, I could do that too, but it's also going across the bottom of the screen.
Oh, okay. Yeah, check me out. Check out my short take videos on YouTube. Check out my YouTube channel and subscribe. Subscribe to the channel. Tell your friends about it. I know you guys got friends out there that love sports. Tell your neighbors who like sports. Tell your relatives. Tell your coworkers. Tell everybody. Spread the word. Spread the word about me and Chris. Spread the word about both of us. Tell those people what we're doing. So that would be great. Also, you guys can follow me on Twitter, SportsJudge85.
All right, yeah. I have it go across the bottom in the ticker. You can find. Please hit that subscribe button for the Gonzo Sport at Gonzo Sports Room for YouTube. Also for the ASAP All Sports All Plays Network, go subscribe to their channel as well. Please like and follow on Facebook and Twitch at Gonzo Sports Room. We greatly appreciate it. We have a sports betting show 3 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday. You can find it live YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch at Gonzo Sports Room and at the All Sports All Plays Network. Gonzo and the Judge Sports Talk Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays 11 p.m. Eastern. We appreciate everybody joining us. Everybody that joins us every Monday and Wednesday, Friday night. So please tell friends about us. Also, if you're an Indianapolis Colts fan, we have an Indianapolis Colts show every Monday and Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern on the Gonzo Sports Room, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch, and also at the All Sports All Plays Network, the ASAP Network. And then also, forgetting the show. What show? Oh, I know what show. Tomorrow morning, or actually later on today, since it's already after midnight, but Around the Bases, or a baseball show, our morning baseball show. Come join me and the stat guy Dustin Reese tomorrow at 9 a.m. That you can find that on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch at Gonzo Sports Room. And also, just found out tonight, so I'm gonna go ahead and talk about it real quick. A lot of you know we live stream pro wrestling and do live commentary at a lot of independent shows. We just found out tonight that a show we're going to be live streaming and broadcasting at on October 1st in Jay County, Indiana. The hardcore legend, WWE Hall of Famer Mick Foley is going to be there, and also WWE legend, the Boogeyman. So make sure you stay on the lookout. October 1st we'll be live, and like I said, Mick Foley, Mankind, Dude Love, Cactus Jack, whatever you want to call him, he's one of the greats, and it's gonna be awesome to be able to call one of his matches and hopefully get to talk to him for a little bit, meet him a little bit. So make sure you be on the lookout for that. Tomorrow's Tuesday. We have Easy Money at 3. Hey, ASAP Afternoon Blitz. Check out my afternoon show over on ASAP. Usually have 3 or 4 other guys on there. We have a good time, so check it out. And then also Unscripted tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern. Go check out Unscripted either on their Facebook page or at the All Sports All Plays Network. You got Jay McLovin and Logan Landers, Frankie C, all over there. I'm usually on there on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I know the judge has been getting on there here the last week or so, couple weeks. So make sure you tune in to them. Unscripted's every Tuesday, Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern, and then Saturdays at 8. And then this Sunday we're going to be at Warrior Pro Wrestling in Danville, Indiana. We'll be live streaming their pro wrestling show and doing live commentary. That'll be this Sunday at 3:00. And then also, big interview on Wednesday. Pro wrestler John Scrutch will be joining me. So that's at 7 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday. And then on this Thursday, we're going to be re-airing WPW Fair Fight. It was a show we done earlier in the month, and also main event's a steel cage match for the championship. It was an awesome show. Took place at the Danville or the Hendricks County Fair, excuse me, in Danville, Indiana. So check that show out Thursday night. Judge, you got anything else before we sign off for tonight?
Man, no, that's it, man. This was a great show once again.
Well, thank everybody for joining us. We will see you guys on Wednesday. Hold on. I pressed the wrong button here. We'll see you guys Wednesday night at 11 p.m. Eastern with another episode of Gonzo and the Judge Sports Talk. Everybody have a great night. Stay safe. Peace.
All sports, all plays. Yeah. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we're making a place. You talking the game, get you to the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces.